I'm going to get right into it. This is my 5 jungle tips to help you instantly improve. I went up from iron to high gold in probably a month span of actually trying to get better and improving. And these are tips that I've learned from personal experiences. I watch people's games that I've friended, whether they be on the enemy team, my team, and I watch their games and see why they're still in the same ranks. And that's actually where a lot of this footage comes from. And so these will actually help you improve and get past, maybe you're stuck at silver and you know you have the mechanical skill, but you're lacking just that's something you don't know. And these tips could be that little tip that pushes you over the edge. And this is just an introduction, so if you want to go ahead and skip this part and get into the rest of it, because everything will be sectioned out with timestamps, you can do that. But a lot of being a jungler is learning. You have to learn the feel for the game. You have to learn where you should be at on the map. Jungle is a role that takes time and experience to really master, but these tips will help you instantly improve. And like I said, get you over that last little hump, if possible. And I do want to see people improve, because I was hard stuck for a long time until I started watching videos. And that's a big thing people don't do, is they won't watch videos, so they're not actively getting better. And I just wanted to share you my knowledge with y'all, and I'll get right into the video. You guys need to learn your jungle clear. There is absolutely no excuse not to know. It is insanely simple. All you have to do, look it up, watch the video, maybe practice it a few times. You could really watch it before a game, and you could see like 20 seconds saved on your clear. And in this next clip I'm going to show you, that can really decide that early game scuttle fight, whether you get that scuttle, what happens. It can actually lead to them not being able to get a Drake, and you'll see this in this clip. But it has a lot of game impact. Learning that those seconds matter. Seconds matter. Every second in jungle matters. I'm going to tell you it right now. That could be the difference between you getting 2 more ganks off, 1 more gank off, however many more to put your team ahead. And so watch this next clip and see how that plays out. All right, we can see the Shyvana and Malphite both going through their clear. You know, everything's normal to start with. You know, Shyvana just has a higher base clear than Malphite, obviously more damage. But you'll see later that it really does matter how you're clearing. And you see she shoots out her thing to go ahead and pull that aggro, and she should have done it a little bit better here, but she leads the Raptor. And then we look at Malphite. He's just sitting there hitting the wolves. That's not saving you time. So now Shyvana's already at her other camp before Malphite finished that camp. And look, she pulls the aggro over the wall. And this is what I really like, taking advantage of that AoE ability. See, doesn't pull out the Raptors. She pulls the Gromp and has the blue buff, hits them at once. And she's actually going to hit level 4 here. And Malphite and her are going to go fight for Scuttle, with Malphite a level down, which is going to greatly impact him. And if you watch here, he ends up flashing away. And then she goes and takes the Scuttle. And we're going to see in this next clip how impactful that flash could have been if he didn't burn it running away. So it's a battle for Drake. And you look right there. If he would have flash smited, they could have had the Drake. They actually do end up winning this fight, but they could have had the Drake and have won the fight. But that's the consequence of burning that flash. And you guys can actually see right here that Malphite still has his flash on cooldown from flashing over that wall, from taking that level 3 fight on Scuttle that he just wasn't going to win. And that's really why that jungle clear is so important, because he could have had it to be where maybe he didn't lose it. His mid laner walks down. He doesn't have to burn that flash. He burns the flash to get the Drake. And it's just plays like that that really add up to win a game. My second tip, I'm going to tell you, pick a jungler that your team can actually synergize with. Because having a Garen top, Aurora mid, and a Lee Sin jungle, there's not going to be many ganks you're going to be able to give to those 2 lanes. The low CC is going to greatly impact your ganking ability. You're going to need better setups and stuff like that, when you could have just gone a champion that had CC and you could get those ganks, get those kills, put your team ahead. This can also apply to picking your team comp. You don't want to have a team comp that's bad, because obviously team fighting is a big part of League, and if you have no tank, or you have only mages or 3 assassins, that's not going to really help you out. That's not going to be the team comp that's going to win you the fights. The more balanced ones, where everybody has their designated role, and as a jungler, your goal is to be very diverse in what positions you can play, because you affect the entire map. You are one of the most impactful roles, if not the most impactful, on your team. And so it's up to you to fill that void on the team. The third jungle tip I'm going to tell you is plan your pathing. Planning your pathing is very important. Let's say you're on a champion like Kayn, and your goal is to hit blue Kayn early. You want to probably start your top side so you can path down for that level 4 gank bot lane. Or say vice versa. You want to go top lane and you want to start your bot lane so you can actually path up there. Planning your pathing is very important. It can affect your ability to get objectives, get kills, get ganks off. And so it's just a really important part. And that also ties in to picking a champion that synergizes, because obviously you're not going to want to path to a lane that you have low ganking success rates on, because you're just going to end up wasting your time, and it's just not a very efficient way to play the game. For my fourth tip, I'm going to tell you a really important tip that I see a lot of low elo junglers make. Dying before the objective is up. Let's say Drake is up in 40 seconds. You don't want to go pick that risky fight, that risky invade, especially with the Drake almost being up. You actually want to secure vision, secure priority, whether that be your mid laners coming back from when they push their lane so they can actually come help you on Drake. The goal is to get the team objective to help the team. And you dying 30 seconds before Drake is up is really not optimal for your team. It pretty much throws away any chance of getting the objective, even if your team is up, because it's going to be a 4v5 or a 4v3. Either one, your chances of winning that fight without you being there. My fifth and final tip is help your laners. If you see your teammate is recalling and they have a fat juicy wave that the enemy's bringing onto their tower, you need to catch that wave. It's free CS for you. It stops the enemy from getting a whole bunch of gold and your laner losing a bunch of CS, and the enemy actually gets a bunch of CS back because of those minions being blocked up. So it's a really important thing that you actually go catch that wave for your teammate. I know your job is to be a jungler, but it's a team game, and obviously the mid laner getting 300 gold differential based on the minions your teammate loses and the plates, that can really add up, and that can be that slight little bit of damage, or them getting their first item before your laner, and it can just really set your team behind. So it's really important to help out your teammates. And also, when your teammates are pushed on your tower, that's a free gank. I see a lot of people kind of ignore that, and it's important to look at your mini map at all times to be aware of what's happening on the map, because as a jungler, the whole map is your territory. You need to be paying attention to the entire map. It is extremely important to be able to win those games. And yeah. Thank you for watching the full video. Even if you did skip ahead a little bit because you knew some of those tips, it does mean a lot with the support. And I genuinely did put a lot of effort into making this video too. So if you could just give it a thumbs up if it did help you. If you have some of your own personal tips that weren't mentioned in this and you feel like could help other players or have helped you, put them in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I do really hope these tips helped you. I'll have more videos on the way. How to escape bronze, how to escape silver, and some of the best junglers to play in the low elos. So I definitely want to help those low elo players make that push up to being higher. Even though I'm not considered a high elo player, I've definitely improved a lot recently. And it's not just mechanics that affect your ranked like in other games, because you can have bad mechanics in other games and still, I mean, good mechanics in other games and still be able to rank up consistently. But in League, you have to have a strong mix of both. And I would argue macro over mechanics in most cases, due to the nature of League being a team game and just how much impact map pressure has on a League game and your ability to win and actually close out the game. So thanks for your support. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video.